This is Just to Say, Poems of Apology and Forgiveness by Joyce Sidman. Introduction. It is my job to write an introduction to this book. First of all, I am Anthony Kay, 6th grader at Florence Scribner School, and this is part of a poetry unit we have completed in Mrs. Mertz's class. We liked our sorry poems so much that we decided to put them together into a book. We worked on them and revised them a lot. Then I had the idea of making a second part, which is why I have to write the introduction, where the people we wrote poems to get to write poems in response. So there are 2 sets of poems in this book, apologies and responses, plus the poem that inspired them all, This is Just to Say by William Carlos Williams, who must have had some interesting nicknames in school. Bao Vang, who is really good at art, took our poems and made the illustrations with the help of Mr. Willow, the art teacher, using her own sketches and some computer art. I learned a lot from this experience, although I can't say that all my classmates feel the same way. And I can't say all the people writing poems back felt great about it either. Some of them didn't even do it. So a few of us on the editorial board had to fill in. Because of this book, though, a bad thing that was going to happen didn't, and a mystery was solved. So at least to us, this is a pretty important book. We hope you enjoy reading our poems. As Mrs. Mertz says, there is a little bit of us in each of them. Anthony Kay, editor. This is Just to Say, I have eaten the plums that were in the icebox, and which you were probably saving for breakfast. Forgive me, they were delicious, so sweet and so cold. William Carlos Williams. Part 1. Apologies. To Mrs. Garcia in the office, this is Just to Say, I have stolen the jelly donuts that were in the teacher's lounge, and which you were probably saving for teachers. Forgive me, they were delicious, so sweet and so gloppy. Too bad the powdered sugar spilled all over my shirt and gave me away. By Thomas. To the statue of Florence P. Scribner, Lucky Nose. I am very sorry for assaulting your nose before every spelling test. When I first came here, I noticed you right away. Your kind eyes, your stiff hair rolled in a ball, like my grandmother's. Your nose looked so strange and magnificent. I asked May Lee about it. Pale and smooth, from 1,000 rubbings, she said. Before that first spelling test, it felt like a cool stone under my hand, calming me. In 100 years, your nose may be worn down to nothing, and so I am very sorry. But think of all the little children, again and again, to whom you gave that cool stone of luck. By Bao Vang. To Kyle, I got carried away. Kyle, I'm sorry for hitting you so hard in dodgeball. I just really get carried away in situations like that. Kids screaming and ducking, coach bellowing, all those red rubber balls thumping like heartbeats against the walls and ceiling, blinking back and forth like stoplights that really mean go, go, go. See, I even got carried away in this poem by Reuben. To Reuben, dodgeball crazy. Sorry, Rubes, for belting you as hard as I could in dodgeball. I'd like to say I wouldn't do it again, but I'd be lying. By Kyle. To Mrs. Mers, Fashion Sense. I am sorry for my rude words. The classroom was so dead. No one had anything more to say about Old Yeller, and we were all crazy to get outside. The silence seemed like 100 crushing elephants, so I raised my hand and made that comment about your dress, and everyone burst out laughing. You smiled, but your smile looked like a frozen pond. People were high-fiving me on the way down to lunch, but I felt like a traitor. You know how the words slip out and you can't believe it, and they echo in your head forever and ever? All through lunch, all through recess, all the next day, I wished I could take those words back. I kept thinking of what you always say to us. Words can help or hurt, the choice is ours. I want to rewind to that moment and say instead, Mrs. Mertz, that dress makes you look like a princess. You are really a queen, not a princess. Our queen, Reina de la Classe. I hope you will overlook the transgressions of your loyal but loud-mouthed subject and forgive me. P.S. I notice you're not wearing that dress so much anymore. Green is not good on you anyway. I like the new one with blue in it, which makes you look thinner. By Carmen. To my mom, brownies. Oops, I smelled them from my room, a wafting wave of chocolateness. I listened for movement, ears pricked like bats. I crept down, stepped over the sleeping dog. I felt the cold linoleum on my bare toes. I saw the warm, thick brick of brownies. I slashed a huge chunk right out of the middle. The gooey hunks of chocolate winked at me as I gobbled them. Afterward, the pan gaped like an accusing eye. My head said, oops, but my stomach said, heavenly. By Maria. To my sister Carrie, the black spot. That black spot on your palm, it never goes away. So long ago, I can hardly remember I stabbed you with a pencil. Part of the lead, there, still inside you, and inside me too. Something small and black, hidden away. I don't know what to call it. The nugget of darkness that made me stab you? It never goes away. Both marks still there, small black reminders. By Alyssa. My dad, balance. Dad, I'm sorry for smashing the garage window when I was a kid. Felipe and I were messing around and saw the cracked pane. One had a crack, so they should all have a crack, right? That's what Felipe said. We hefted some rocks. Then one pane had a jagged hole, but they all had to match, right? Felipe said we should balance them out. I remember the weight of the gritty rocks, the shiver of tinkling glass, the wild joy blooming in my chest, the fear, the running away. For a while it seemed like the bravest thing I had ever done. Now I realize Felipe was stupid to make up a reason to smash things, and I was even more stupid to follow him. By Jose. To my mother, sparkling dear. Mom, I'm so sorry for breaking your precious glass deer all those years ago. The scent of Christmas was in the air, and your little snow scene drew me like a magnet. The deer's slim pink legs and arching neck, I could almost feel their smooth, delicate surface. In my head, I heard you say, "Don't touch," but my fingers had a mind of their own. I plucked it from the rough cotton snow by its tiny antlers. Then it dropped. Later, when I heard you crying, I felt small. Please forgive me. By Mrs. Ruth Mertz. To Maria, not really. I'm sorry I bumped your books that day and scattered them all over the floor, but not really. I'm sorry your locker mirror disappeared and mysteriously ended up in my desk, but not really. I'm sorry I pulled that clip out of your hair and you had to chase me down the hall, but not really. I'm sorry I made you yell at me till your face got red and your eyes sparkled, but not really. I'm sorry you keep saying you won't go out with me. Really? By Bobby. To Manga, my hamster. I wish I could set you free, like that day you escaped and ran all over the house. That was an amazing day. My mother screamed, my sister cried, all because you were loose somewhere, burrowing through pillows and toys. When Mom finally found you huddled in the mop bucket and you bit her, you looked so fierce, like your wild cousins that roam the jungles of Asia. I wish I had jungles to give you. I wish that could be your life. Please forgive me. All I have to offer is this warm, cozy cage and my fingers scratching behind your ears. By Ricky. To Einstein, my dog. It was quiet. It was quiet. No machines beeped. You looked like you were sleeping. Your nose was still wet. Your ears were still silky, but inside something was crumbling. It's not sleep, it's a coma, Baba said. Harsh voice in the quiet room. We have a decision to make. I did not want to decide anything. I wanted to stay quiet with the feel of your fur, but inside all my cells and nerves were screaming. Heads nodded. The decision was made. You did not move. You did not shudder. Yet life left you. I'm so sorry we had to do this. We wanted to save you some pain. I hope we did the right thing. Is death ever right? I don't know, but I hated having to choose it, and I hate the quiet in our house without you. By Tenzin. To my brother Lamar, secret message. Where would you hide a secret message? Under a pillow? In a pocket? Between two slices of bread? Where would you hide a message that wants to be found? Maybe it shouldn't be found. Maybe writing it is most important. What happens after doesn't matter. Well, big brother, here's my secret message. I'm sorry I'm such a weird kid. I'm sorry I embarrass you. I am hiding it here under the seat in your car. I wonder if you will ever find it. By Duran. To my mother, spelling bomb. I can't believe I lost. I know I disappointed you. Do you really think I don't care? I know how important it is to win. I know I disappointed you. I saw it in your face when I misspelled. I know how important it is to win. I studied hours and hours. I saw it in your face when I misspelled. I saw you turn away from me. Even though I study hours and hours, I never seemed to be your champion. I saw you turn away from me, and in that moment would have given anything to be your champion, to see your bright, triumphant pride. In this moment, I would give anything. Do you really think I don't care for your bright, triumphant pride, which I can't believe I lost? By Anthony. 2 ? A waste of heart. I'm sorry for loving you because you never notice me. I'm sorry I stare at you so much in class, trying to figure out what's on your mind. I'm sorry for taking the time in the morning with my hair. Sorry for trying on 6 shirts to find the one that makes you say, "Hey girl, looking fine," because you never say it. I'm sorry because I know I'm wasting my heart on you. Yeah, I'm sorry for loving you. So sorry that I think I'm going to stop. By Ranisha. Bao Vang. What was I thinking? Wow, am I really in the principal's office? She is bigger than I thought. Is that gray hair on her neck? Her dress is the color of ripe plums. She is asking so many questions. I have such a bad feeling in my stomach. Bao Vang is my best friend. She is always laughing. She was laughing when she hit the fire alarm. It was an accident. She was just fooling around. The principal's eyes are like hot sparks. My parents will be so angry. They will yell and yell. My mouth is opening. I'm blabbing out Bao Vang and the fire alarm. I can't believe this is happening. The principal sends me away. I slink out like a whipped dog. Bao Vang, my best friend. I told on her, then pretended I hadn't. Will she ever forgive me? By Mei Li. To my dad, next time. You went away and left me. It's not the first time. The first time you left because I cried too much, screaming baby, wah, wah. The second time it was because I messed up at school. Your daughter is acting out. The third time I came home early and saw, well, forget it. You told me, so I did. You see, I'm keeping track. What did I do this time? Is it the way I'm dressing these days? Or the way I laugh too loud? Whatever it is, I can fix it. Please, please come back. Don't leave me spinning alone like a slow, sad tornado. I'm sorry, Daddy. Next time I'll be perfect. By Jewel. To the class, how Slow Hand Lizard died. I stole him, took him home in my pocket, felt the pulse beating in his soft green neck, had no place good to put him. A shoebox. He got cold, I think. Watched his life wink out. His bright eye turned to mud. Brought him back, stiff as an old glove. Hid him in the bottom of the cage. Left the money on Mrs. Mertz's desk. Stole that, too. Won't touch the new lizard. Don't like to touch money either. By Anonymous. Part 2. Responses. To Thomas. Dear Thomas, thank you for your poem. You do have a way with you, Thomas. Smiling, asking me how I'm doing today. Talking a mile a minute. Slipping in and out. Yes, I see you. Stealing our hearts and our donuts, too. A nice boy like you can really get on in the world if he doesn't let his fingers run away with him. Of course I forgive you, but I still have to call your mother. By Mrs. Garcia, in the office. To Bao Vang, to the girl who rubs my nose. I was a child like you. I used to run. I used to play. Now I am old and cold and frozen on my pedestal. I see a lot from up here. Children, laughing, crying, fighting, holding hands. I have lots of time to think. I think maybe spelling isn't so important. Friends are important. Kindness is important. A gentle touch. So come rub my nose again, girl. Come warm me up a little. By Duran, writing for Florence P. Scribner statue. A Poem in Two Voices by Kyle and Ruben for each other. Dodgeball Kings. We're dodgeball kings, we rule the gym. We like to zing each other, dodgeball kings, each ball we fling with all our might, as though it is our last, A catapult, a cherry bomb, a setting sun, a blazing ring, we fire through air. We mark each other out, Zing, bam, sting, zing, bam, sting. It hurts, but we don't care. We're dodgeball kings. To Carmen. Haiku for Carmen. Just these few warm words, and spring sunlight fills the room. My dress turns to sky, by Mrs. Ruth Mers. To Maria, desk mess. Oops, the house was quiet, so empty and still. Your door was open, so I peeked in. Piles of papers stacked any which way, dust thick as velvet. My fingers itched to straighten, clean, organize. I didn't mean to read anything. The note from Bobby was an accident. Afterward, that corner of the room looked so different from the rest, an island of neatness in an ocean of mess. My conscience said oops, but my eyes said heavenly, by Maria's mom. To Alyssa, roses are red, violets are blue. I'm still really mad at you, by Carrie, Alyssa's sister. Jose, I'm telling you now. Son, I kept telling you I couldn't write a poem, and you kept saying just write down a list of how you feel and break it into shorter lines like we do at school, and I kept thinking I did lousy in school. Every single year almost, and barely made it through, and I never told you about that. Always on you to work harder, even though I barely tried. Always messing around like I knew better, but really just scared because it didn't come natural for me like for some. And now here you are, keeping up with the smart kids and more sometimes, and writing poetry and all, and even getting your old man to write all these lines. And I want to say what I'm feeling, which is I'm proud, real proud of you. I couldn't be prouder, and somehow I've written this poem, if you could call it that, and Christ forget about the window, its ancient history, by Jose's dad. To Maria Mers, for little Ruth. Why are you sorry, my little Ruth? The deer is perched happily on its crust of snow. It cannot leap any more, but it is happy, almost as happy as the day it was made. I watched with big eyes as it grew in the glass blower's hand like a piece of crystal taffy. You were a boisterous child. I cried the day I got your poem, not because I was sorry, or because you should be sorry, or any of that. No, I cried because you were little, and now you are not. Come visit me soon, will you? Mrs. Mers' mother. To Bobby, what girls want. Girls want a lion with a great shaggy mane. Girls want a horse fast and sure. Girls want a coyote that sings with its heart. Girls want an eagle soaring through mountains. Girls want a breeze that whispers its name. Girls want a snowfall that makes the world new. Girls want a dog that wags all over. Girls want a cat that purrs to the moon. Girls want a hedgehog that carries its own armor, but doesn't always use it. Just to let you know, by Maria. To Ricky, sorry back from the hamster. I'm sorry I bit your mom's finger and hung on to it like that. Hamsters are not normally bloodthirsty, but I'd had a lot of adventures by then and I was tired. Her hand was a huge scary claw coming at me. The blood tasted like rust. The truth is, at first I was so happy to be free, but later I was so glad to be back, curled in the warm palm of your hand, by Ricky, writing for his hamster. To Tenzin, losing Einstein. I had to do the same with my Sasha, not long ago. No one can tell you what it's like until it happens. No one can see those trusting eyes. Dogs are different from us. They don't think so much. They just feel like crazy. They love you if you treat them right, and fear you if you don't. They can handle pain, but they hate being left behind when they're old or sick. They want to be right there with you. Einstein was right there with you, Tenzin. Even if his eyes weren't open, he was smelling you, feeling your touch. You were loving him, and he was loving you back. That's how he went, and that's how a dog should go. By Mr. Johnson, custodian. To Duran, little brother. Little brother, you are one weird kid. Hiding stuff under my seat? Why you got to hide? Life should be lived extra large. Look at me, man. I am living large as I can. I know when I got to stand and when I got to run. But I've been thinking about you, little bro, since you put that note in my car. You got your own stuff, stuff I don't have. You got sticky shoes, they stay on the ground. You got brains that work all the time, not just sometime. You got that curly hair of mama's, you don't remember, but I do. You got that smile, that dumb sweet smile that ain't seeing badness yet. Keep all that stuff. Keep it. Hold tight to it. Hold it, little brother. Here, you gonna need all that stuff. Maybe not the smile. Get rid of that, or you'll end up on the street under somebody's wheel. But the other stuff, don't let it get beat out of you. Stay strong. I'll be showing you anyways. Showing you how to live large, extra large, like me, by Lamar Duran's brother. To Anthony, some reasons why. Why must we work so hard and always be the best? Parents say, hard work builds character. I say, too much work means no laughter. Parents say, only the best get ahead. I say, everyone's good at something. Parents say, daydreaming is just an excuse for laziness. I say, they just never learned how to write a poem. By Tenzin, writing for Anthony's mother, who said he was being ridiculous. To Renisha, dark-haired girl. Renisha, dark-haired girl with flashing eyes. Renisha, long legs pounding down the track. Renisha, frown that breaks rocks, laugh that starts tidal waves. Renisha, strong, fierce, loyal. Our Renisha, Don't Change Who You Are, by Carmen and Mrs. Ruth Mers. To Mei Li, The River of Forgiveness. Here I am, reading Mei Li's poem. I am wading into the river of forgiveness, thinking of alarm bells, of breaking glass, of confusion, and the fear that crushes your heart when you've done something wrong. I feel cold and alone, fighting the water as it pulls at me and fills my eyes. Will I ever make it across? I keep thinking of a friend who helped explain the world, whose arm is always around my shoulder, a friend who stands with me in the crowd. There she is, my friend, on the other side of the river. She's the one looking worried when I cough and choke, the one about to jump in after me. But wait, my feet are touching. I've reached the sandy bank. I've crossed the river of forgiveness. I open my arms to her. By Bao Vang. To and from my dad, my poem. Daddy wrote back. He was late, but he wrote. He was late. He was sick. He was almost gone for good, but he wrote to me. Dear baby, he said, you are perfect, so perfect. It's me who's not. None of the stupid things I have ever done are even close to being your fault. He says he was at the end of his rope one night. Then he saw my handwriting on an envelope and it called to him. He says he was going to leave this world and my poem called him back. He says my poem saved his life. He says he is coming back, really coming back to stay if he can, and the first thing he wants me to do is to teach him how to write poems like that. That's what Daddy says, and this time I think I believe him. By Jewel. To Anonymous, Ode to Slow Hand. The way his heart beat in his throat, the way his toes whispered on our hands, Los Perdonamos. His skin, rough green cloth, the color of new leaves, Los Perdonamos. His belly, soft as an old balloon, his tongue, lightning's flicker, Los Perdonamos. The sad way he left us, the sad way you feel, Los Perdonamos. We forgive you. By Mrs. Mertz's class.